All right, here we go. WM Phoenix Open Week is upon us. Is the liver ready, Sleaze?
The hands are just sweet. I hear the words WM, my palms just start sweating, dude. It is here. It is live. We already got it kicked off. Post Malone Saturday, dude. All time. Incredible week to start, or incredible way to start the week, dude. That was a guy I've been wanting to see for a long time. Hadn't had the opportunity. Confident dude. It was not warm that evening, and he came out in like leopard print underpants, no shirt.
He doesn't like shirts.
And went 2 hours strong. At one point, he stopped the show. He's like, just so you know, my nipples could cut glass right now. Like in the middle of the shit, and then just went back into it. I was like, yeah, dude, I'm in a hoodie and a jacket, and I'm cold. But
I saw a bunch of videos. Looked incredible. Saw him hanging out with some of the Thunderbirds playing beer pong before. Yeah. Everybody raved about it. I love at one point during the show, one of the videos I saw, he just looked around. He's like, this is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah. Like fairly, he knew nothing about, like he stopped, he talked like a handful of times throughout the show. One time he stopped, he's like, you know, this is cool. All this is like, I hope y'all have a good time seeing the golf balls being golfed this week. Like, he didn't know what but yeah, he was like just stopped in the. I mean, he performs every night, and he just stopped in the middle. He was like, dude, this is badass. Like it was cool, and the way the stage is set up, everyone gets like a good look at him. That's a tough one to top for Concert at the Coliseum. That was like my probably highlight of the week, and now we dig in, bud. Really You're gonna be on a bag this week too.
I am. I got a busy week.
You're working
caddying for Taylor Montgomery. I haven't told him this yet.
Here we go.
This is great.
This will be a good way for him to find out.
I'm very excited, but Max Homa had to have a fill-in last week, and he might possibly need one this week as well. So
Where's Joey boy?
I just flew home back. Got dealing with some stuff, but
okay.
I was like, I mean, Max, I'm happy to help you out. I will Taylor. Look, this guy's way better than you.
I will fade Taylor's ass so
I'm
fast.
Like, sorry, I will dump his ass.
Like, Taylor, what I have here is the world golf rankings. Yeah. Here's you.
Yeah.
And you go way down to the bottom, right there where it just starts. That's the top 10. There's Max.
Max is like, I might need you. I was like, well, just let me know, because I will freaking quit Taylor so fast.
I'll dump Taylor on a hole 3 if you're about to tee off, if you give me the go.
But I'm looking forward to it, man. The weather forecast doesn't look that great. I'm going to have to carry an umbrella, which is that's devastating.
The bag gets twice as heavy with rain gear.
I'm going no rain gear, nothing. I don't care. I'll just get wet. Whatever he needs, but I'm excited, man. It's going to be fun. First time ever caddying in a PGA Tour event. So looking forward to it, man. He's been playing some good golf. We'll see what happens. It's going to be a long. I think it's good for me to be doing that instead of just boozing all day, every day. Since
it will be better for your health unequivocally. Yes. You will also miss some fun times.
Yeah, but CBS has a Super Bowl this year, so we're not covering it for TV. So I got the week off, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Taylor,
but we got to talk about last week first.
We have to. How about the kid?
Our guy. I mean, he was our episode this past week, and he goes out and gets the win. Shoots course record 60 at Pebble Beach on Saturday. It's pretty cool to think this place was built in 1919. All the greats have played there, and now to have Wyndham Clark as the lowest round ever was amazing. It sucks that the tournament got shortened to 54 holes, but at the end of the day, you know, he played the best for as many holes as they're allowed. I will tell you this. I was there, okay? I'm lucky enough to stay at the lodge this past week. I was right on 18 fairway. Beautiful look at the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Sunday, this wind for 14 straight hours blew consistently 40 miles an hour with gusts of 60. I thought my windows were going to break in my room. It was the most unbelievable weather I've ever seen in my life. I'm like, this is insane. This is borderline not safe to be in this room right now.
It gets biblical up there. I think it was like players were posting the videos like, Jesus Christ, this thing, there's no way they're playing Monday. This thing's going to be done. Wyndham's going to win this thing. I think it was Ben Griffin recommended is like, I know we're not playing today, but we should just get everyone in the field to go out to 7 and video it and hit one shot. Because it like could be a driver at this point. It would just be sweet to see. I was like, actually, yeah, that would be a brilliant idea. But dude, I mean, I saw some earlier in the week before it kind of got nice for a little bit, and Tony Finau, did you see the Tony Finau video of him hitting driver on 7 just over the green? That was sweet. I mean, dude, the place just gets 164, just hit it to the moon. It was nasty. I talked to Dub this morning, and I was like, did you know, like, did you kind of try to get weird on Saturday knowing that, like, dude, it doesn't look like we might finish this thing? And he's like, we kind of had an inclination, but we didn't know whether or not Monday would kind of pan out and they could play then. But it wasn't like, hey, I'm just going to fire at everything and go for broke. He's like, dude, I just kind of played normal, and all of a sudden started making every single thing I looked at.
Well, it was obviously the Wyndham Clark show. I was walking with Justin Thomas in the next to last group when Dub's just making birdie after birdie or 30-footers for bogey from off the green.
That was
whatever
nasty.
It is. But we get to 18, and Nance and Trevor are talking about this putt for 59. I hit our producer in the talkback. I'm like, this is also probably to win the damn golf tournament because this thing's over.
He talked about that too. He's like, dude, I knew he's like, I want 59. It'd be the sickest thing ever. Shoot 59 at Pebble Beach. He's like, also, I didn't want to like be like, don't leave it short. He's like, I want to have my normal speed because like he knew he's like 2 putts probably wins this golf tournament. And like he said too, he's like after the tournament, he's like so much media, so much. You're going up, you're talking to Jim, you're talking to Amanda, you're doing all this stuff. I mean, he was everywhere. He's like, I probably did 2+ hours of media. He's like, it felt like I just won a golf tournament. And I was like, dude, this thing, like mentally, he's like, I might have to get ready to go another day. It's probably not going to be Sunday, but like it could very well be Monday. He's like, Ludwig's playing some pretty damn good golf. He said it was like a really weird feeling in that just how much hype and media he did after a third round that they didn't know at the time was the final.
What would have been incredible is if there was a tie. If him and Ludwig would have been tied. And
what do you do?
Find the driest hole.
7.
And just go play it. I mean, that's what they would have had to done.
It would have been sick.
But I will say he enjoyed his evening Sunday night. Met him over at the tap room. Nance was there. Our producer Sellers, a bunch of people. And the place was pretty packed. And I was like, hey, guys, Wyndham's coming by here shortly. Caddy John Ellis got there first. Wyndham walked in. My table was right by the door. I started clapping. The whole place went nuts. Standing ovation for him. He took 1,000 pictures. I was like, ugh, sorry about this part. But and he had a nice ice cream sundae in the tap room. But it was cool, man. Like he wins the right ones. Every win's been 3.6 million.
Dude, my son, he's an opportunistic kid. He don't mess around with the small purses or the small events. When he locks in and goes, it's for a lot of money. He's done a damn good job. And this is what's so weird. Like his putting's getting all the attention. The day before he left, I was out there. He was out there practicing. We were playing. He was going out to play. 6 putters in his bag going out to play golf. Later that night, he didn't find it that night. He calls my 4-ball partner, Drew Kittleson, on the phone. He's like, hey, dude. He's never putted with Drew Kittleson's putter before. Calls him like, hey, I'm leaving really early in the morning. Would you mind if I swing by your house at 5:30 tomorrow? Could you just leave your putter out? I want to take it up there with him. And Kitty's like, yeah, you can borrow my putter. Also, you're the U.S. Open champ. Maybe just call Titleist and I'll tell you what I got. And they'll probably have 7 of them waiting for you. Like, you don't need to borrow my putter.
He used the one he always uses.
Yeah, and he used the one he just took the line off and just changed the grip and went cross-handed. But yeah, the putter itself wasn't all that different. But dude, and he spent 3 hours with a putting guy up there going through everything. We were talking today, and I was like, what'd you say to the putting guy? He's like, I have 9 putters. Fix me.
Well, I saw in an interview.
First dude ever show up on tour with 9 putters.
He said, I worked with some guy on my putting, and I think his name was Mike.
He didn't even say the name this morning.
You didn't even know the damn guy.
I was like, maybe shout your boy out a little bit. He just got you 3.6.
Well, they did it, and then whoever that guy was, like, did one of the emojis with the guy raising his hand. He's like, hey, it's me.
That was me. This might help my business. I just helped you a little bit. Yeah, they said they spent 3 hours. Like, the first 2 were literally me putting with all 9 putters that I'd showed up with, and then we finally, like, locked into one. But it worked. He made the most feet of putts he's ever made in a golf tournament, and it
didn't count the one from off the green.
It didn't count that one exactly, which would have been even more. I mean, dude, it was a joke. He's if you look at all the ball striking stats, it's a short season so far. Got it, hasn't played that much, but like it's Scotty and then like Wyndham in a lot of the categories. And he's like, dude, I've played so good tee to green this year. He's like probably better than I played last year at the U.S. Open at Quail, and I've made nothing. He's like, I had to switch, and he was like as dark as he's ever been about his putting, and then a little switcheroo, bam, chicken dinner, course record at Pebble. Shout out to the kid. It was so fun to watch. I was thrilled for him, man.
Can we just start a petition right here?
Yeah. I love petitions.
Can we move Pebble Beach to a different time of year? This is ridiculous, man. Like, it's so cold. It rains every day. It's 2 years in a row. We've tried to go to Monday. One of them got finished. The weather sucks that time of year. We got to move this thing. This place is too good. The field obviously was great because it was a signature event, but you get one of the best golf courses in the world, and you get to play it under slop conditions. Like, let's move it. People won't mind going from Florida to go play Pebble Beach the next week. Like, it's Pebble Beach. They'll go. We got to move this thing.
Just flip maybe something on the West Coast too out there, and just be like, hey, you want to take Pebble's spot? Because just give them a few more weeks maybe to figure this thing out. Early Feb doesn't seem to be a great time for Pebble, and it's such brutal. A cool, especially this year when they move it up to signature. It's like you want to get those done. Like, it ain't, you know what I mean? It ain't a great look when your signature events don't finish.
I do got a great story for you from last week. Thursday night in the tap room, having a wonderful evening as always, joined by John McGinnis.
Never a bad night with Johnny.
Okay. Sitting over there, one of the best AMs in the field, just one of my favorite people I've ever come across, Dermot Desmond from Ireland. Okay. Man's been around the golf world forever, great supporter of golf. Plays in this thing every single year. He is the Pebble Beach staff favorite. I mean, he's the most generous guy on the planet. Sitting over there, he brings his own wine into the tap room, and it's the good juice. Smart. I'm not a big wine guy, but it's good juice. Waiter comes over, he's like, this is from Mr. Mr. Desmond. He sent me a glass. Go over, say thank you. I'm not a big wine guy, but still nice of him. Go over, say thank you. We're talking. He's playing with Rory and Ludwig. He's Ludwig's partner.
Good partner.
He's like, Colt, how much time have you spent around Ludwig? I was like, I've walked with him several times. Joe's a very good friend. I was like, kid's got it. He goes, I've been around everyone in the game. Played with them all. He goes, he's in my top 3 with Tiger and Rory. He's that good. He goes, if I gave you a bet, over under on the amount of majors he wins over the next 10 years, so 40 majors. I was like, I feel like the number would probably be 3.5. And that's still hard. He goes, 8. And I'm like, whoa. I was like, wait a second. Whoa. He goes, I'll take it at 8 right now, $100,000. And I go, well, can we lower it a little bit? Can we lower the stakes a little bit?
I like where you're going here.
Yeah.
And 10 years is a long time.
Yeah. He goes, I'm telling you, 8 is the number. He goes, I go, how about $10,000? He goes, 100 or no bet. I'm like, God damn it, Dermot. It's like, that's a little high.
Just go over to Ludwig and be like, hey, dude, I got a bet. If you win 8, you're not going to need the hundo. You know what I mean?
So I didn't take it. And he goes, Dermot's a little older. He goes, well, here's the deal. Good news for you. Whether win or lose, I probably won't be around to collect it or pay you. So no big deal.
Valid.
But he goes,
I need a claim on your estate.
Yeah, I did text Joe and told him the deal. And I was like, you want half of it. This is a great deal for you. Either you win $50,000 or your dude wins 8 majors and you're going to be rich as shit.
Joe ain't going to need it either. If he does that 8 in the next 10 years, 1 out of every 5, that's
so Sean
ballsy,
Flaherty's,
but he's fucking unbelievable.
Sean Flaherty's, who is Rory's manager, was sitting right there and he goes, Dermot, you realize one of those guys you listed in your top 3 hadn't won in 10 years? And you think this kid's going to win at 8?
Yeah, he probably could have got that same bet with Rory. But dude, I mean, what he's saying ain't a joke. Like when Joe switched from Tom Kim to Ludwig, I was like, dude, I don't know that for the next decade there's a more valuable bag in golf or a better bag in golf to have for that period of time.
I would have absolutely loved to seen him and Wyndham battle it out on Sunday at Pebble Beach.
Exact same thing I said. I was like, dude, and the way Ludwig, like he shot 67, gets no attention because of Wyndham's 60, but I was like, it was the easiest, like, whatever you want to call it, bad 67 you've ever seen. Like, dude, we've been talking about him for a long time. He ain't a secret, but it's special. And like, yeah, I know he hadn't played a major yet, but like when you hit it like that, there's not a lot to figure out. Like golf gets pretty easy when you drive it the way Ludwig drives it. He did change his pronunciation of his name again. Did you see that?
Oberg.
Now we're Oberg. We went from Ludwig Aberg to Aber to Ober to now Ludwig Oberg. Like, just we've had time to clean this up, dude. Just tell us your name and we'll go with it.
To be fair, he's so nice. He's like, look, I went to Texas Tech. Everybody just said Ludwig Aberg, like just like it's spelled. He's like, I don't really care.
That's fine.
He goes, whatever it goes
by
now. And so he's like, all right, this is it. Last time, Ludwig Oberg. We're gonna say the G. I'm like, all right, fine. We're done.
The Ryder Cup, there was a whole damn press conference about pronounce it Ober. It's pronounced Ober. We got strict instructions on that. Now it's being changed again. Just pick one. We're start calling him Ludwig.
No, his name is I know he likes this. Joe's told me he likes it. I call him Luda. Short, ludicrous.
Easy.
Ludwig. It's easy.
Can't mess that up.
I'm like, perfect.
Can't mess that up. Yeah, exactly. Word of mouth, dude.
All right. Well, before we get going on our interview, we got an awesome one this week. I want to give a special thank you to the Thunderbirds. I helped them organize a plane for a bunch of the players, caddies, to get here to Phoenix from Pebble Beach. They don't have to do those kind of things. It was so nice. Josh Isner, shout out to you. You organized it. Had a JSX plane they got, 30 people on it. We're walking onto the plane. They gave each player a choice of some tequila or Johnny Walker. So shout out to them. That's first class stuff, and that's what's one of the most popular tournaments on the PGA Tour. Oh, and just so we don't get hated on, Joaquin Niemann, congrats on your LIV win. You shot 59. Cool stuff.
It was with a 2-stroke penalty, won that thing too.
Yeah.
By the way, they got the big stage that they wanted.
And Jon Rahm's team won Legion 13.
First of many, I have to assume.
There, we talked about
for
it.
Legion 13. Yeah, I got no hate for him. Actually, the ending looked, with the scoreboard lighting up the green, kind of looked cool. It was like the ending of a member guest. Like, we got to get this in, aim the carts at the green. Sick. But for more money.
Congratulations. All right, let's pay some bills for ourselves here.
Yeah, I want to tell you about something that's important, Colt. Nice rides. I'm talking about Genesis, okay? No matter where your next adventure takes you, the Genesis GV80 is up for it. Featuring a stunning design, a wide range of intuitive technology, and impeccable performance, the GV80 will ensure every drive will be an unforgettable one. The GV80 handles all types of terrain with standard all-wheel drive and available electronic limited slip differential. The GV80's navigation system with 14.5 HD screens seamlessly integrates smartphone connectivity and cloud technology for a faster, more accurate routing. The GV80's spacious cabin features customizable ambient lighting. Genesis, proud sponsor of the Genesis Invitational. Make the game your own. The Genesis GV80. Learn more at genesis.com. Classy ride, bud. Classy ride.
Awesome. I'll tell you this, at the Genesis Invitational, they are nice enough. They even give the announcers courtesy cars. So I've driven one of these last couple years. Beautiful.
God bless them. I was in one just recently, actually, and I was like, this is nice. Like, real nice.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get to our guest this week. This is a fun one. The princess has returned. Our man Carlos Ortiz, who now plays over at LIV Golf, sat down with him for almost an hour and got into it. It was awesome. He gave us a lot of great information on LIV. I think you are going to enjoy this one. Here's Carlos Ortiz on Subpar.
Okay, it has been way too long since we had this man back on the show. He is a PGA Tour winner. He's an Olympian for his home country of Mexico. He's gearing up for his third year on LIV Golf. His name is Carlos Ortiz, but he also goes by La Princesa. Carlos, good to be with you, buddy.
Happy to be with you guys.
The princess, so good to see you, my friend. God, I've missed you.
Yeah. No, I definitely haven't missed you screaming at me on the driving range, princess, in front of everybody. I haven't definitely not missed that.
Hey, it's a great nickname. It could be way worse, and people like it. Your mom loves it.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, people that really know me, they like it because it's true. But I don't like it when other people hear that nickname.
I was just down at the Latin American Amateur, Carlos, and a lot of people were obviously talking about you. Your brother won that championship, and I was like, yeah, I nicknamed him Princess many years ago, and everybody goes, oh my God, that's perfect.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. The people that really know me, they love that nickname.
And it's perfect because you don't fight it either. You've embraced it, which I think is the right move. But you also, correct me if I'm wrong, don't you have 4 princesas at home? You got a busy house. 4 little girls, man?
Yeah, 4 girls.
Oof.
That's why I'm here bunkering in a room here in the house where nobody can find me.
Smart
Your
man.
friend Jordan Spieth wants to know if you're going to keep trying to have a boy.
I don't know, Colt. I haven't. I don't think the odds are in my favor. I've tried 4 times and I have 4 girls, so I don't know what to tell you. If you guarantee me a boy, I'll try one more time, but I just don't think the odds are in my favor.
Did you read any of the books or anything? Because there's certain like techniques and things you can do. I researched this too. I got 2 little girls, Carlito, and I did all the tricks, all the things, and made my second girl. So I just feel like real dudes make chicks, and that's what you and I did. But I also think the books and all that stuff is bullshit.
It is bullshit. I've tried everything. I mean,
Tell us about it.
You name it. I've tried it. I've soaked my balls in Chinese tea. Nothing really works. Nothing works. I've tried the moon cycle, the stars, astrology. Nothing works. It's just I think I'm destined to be a girl dad.
Hold on. Go back. Did you legitimately stick your balls in Chinese? I read some books, dude, and that method, I probably would have tried it, but I did not come across that. Is that real?
No, I'm just kidding. I haven't soaked my balls in Chinese tea, but I've pretty much done everything, and it doesn't diets and all that stuff. I don't think it works. I think it's just odds, and the people that actually get it right, they think they're meant to work, But I think it's just, I don't know. I don't know.
Hey, look, you're a girl dad. Yeah, nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, dude.
You're just absolutely owned at your house, 5-on-1.
Yeah, I mean, I have nothing to say in that regard.
Do you have any say over anything that goes on in your house?
No.
Nice. Nice. 5 princesses.
No, I mean, I can see it here and be all macho and tell you, I ruled this house, and anybody that knows, no, I have no. I mean, once I leave the house, I rule my own life. But once I come back here, I have a boss, and then they tell me what to do, and I need to be in line, same as everybody in this house.
Yeah,
I love it.
That's the way it goes.
Well, as Lee said, you're getting ready to start your 3rd season at LIV. You started off with the Fireballs. You're over at Torque. Is it Torque or Torque?
Torque.
That's what I thought. Okay. People tried to correct me the other day on our Sirius XM show. I told them it was Torque. I know my stuff. But
I think
First
it's
off, I just
Torque.
want to
Yeah,
know.
I mean,
Well, I hope so. It's your team. You should know what it's called.
yeah, but the pronunciation between English and Spanish is a lot different. But we call it Torque. But
Okay.
in English, I think it's Torque. I think you're saying it right.
Of course I am. I'm a professional. I always say it right. But how's your time been at LIV? I know it was obviously it's a tough decision to leave the PGA Tour where you dreamed of playing your whole life, and now you're over at LIV. And I talked to you at the U.S. Open out at LACC, and you seemed very happy with everything.
Obviously, I would be lying if I say I don't miss part of the tournaments on the P Tour, like Torrey Pines this week. I love playing that golf course, and Riviera, and some of these Quail Hollow, Bay Hill. Some of these places I really miss. But overall, I mean, LIV has been great to me, and I love the way the tournaments are. I love the team aspect. I know a lot of people talk shit about it, and they say it's not really, but it's honestly, it's like for me. I'll give you what it is for me. It's like I'm back in college again, but instead of playing for nothing, you're playing for big tournament against the same field of great players. Because I think obviously the fields they are not as easy as people say. I think the top 20, top 25 guys are really good players. It's really competitive. I love that you have that extra pressure of performing for a team. I know that it might not seem like there is pressure, but I mean for me there's when you're playing just for somebody else, you know how golf is just always just about you. But when you're playing for somebody else, or the results of your score matter for other people, it's definitely an extra pressure, and that's definitely made me work harder than ever. And honestly, I really enjoy the part of being able to watch the leaderboard and how you're doing, especially when it comes to Sunday and you're down on the lead with the team. It's actually pretty cool watching the leaderboard as you come down and making sure that you're trying to keep up with the other teams, or if you have your teammates around you, kind of like cheering them up, or hole by hole, you're trying to see how they're doing. So that part I really enjoy. And honestly, traveling around the world, something I really didn't do on the PGA Tour. It's been unbelievable. Like seeing these new places, like playing in Spain and London and Australia and Singapore, is something that I really enjoyed. Obviously, it has the downside that you have to travel a lot, but it's been really cool to see other places, to see all these other places around the world that really enjoy golf.
Yeah, and Carlos, like when I believe you joined in the second event when LIV first started off, so you didn't really know there hadn't been a lot of tournaments. You didn't really know what to expect. But now that you're 2 seasons into LIV now, how has the experience so far lived up to your expectations when you went there initially?
Honestly, it's actually improved a lot because there definitely was some things that were not, like especially when you come from the P Tour, that everything is pretty much taken care of. There were a lot of things that they seem out of place, or like you don't understand why they were doing certain things. But as they've grown, or the tour has got like as we play more tournaments, everything has improved, and the way they do things is actually pretty cool. It's honestly also much easier to change when you're a smaller company like like LIV that just started. So they've improved a lot. They've made a lot of big changes without a lot of hiccups, and their product, I think right now it's getting really competitive and really good. I really enjoy the way they run the tournaments and the way everything is set up. I mean, I don't know if you guys been to one, but it honestly, it's it is pretty cool. And I think for the spectators, it's just, I think it's easy and fun how you go show up and they tee off at 1 and they finish at 5. Pace of play is unbelievable, and they normally have concerts after it. So it's actually it's a really cool environment going to a LIV tournament. I mean, I just don't see how it's not a good product, because it's just run really clean, and everything is just, when you have 48 guys, it's just easy to put everything in place and make it run perfectly. You get bad weather, you move the tee times up however they want to, and it's quick. It's a shotgun start, so we don't really need to deal with bad weather and delays and all that stuff. So there's a lot of good things about playing in small fields.
Yeah, 48 guys, obviously you could fly around the shotgun start.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the shotgun start just because I believe a golf course is designed a certain way, and they have the finishing holes the way they are for a reason. And I did learn from somebody though recently that no one has won on a hole Sunday other than 18, which surprised me actually.
I didn't know that stat, but it is what you're saying. It is. I mean, I like the shotgun start because everybody's playing in the same conditions. That's something I always hated about when you get the bad wave or something, so that you don't have that excuse. But it is true. Starting, I think the golf course is set up to start in a hole, and then you go into the whole golf course like that. And it does suck. Sometimes you start in these holes that are like, oh my God, I don't want to start in that, and you see that leaderboard, and because you're playing a certain part of the golf course, it's completely out of whack. But I mean, that is a downside. But I think overall, I love the shotgun just because of also how fast the pace of play is, and that we all play at the same time. There's not really early wake up calls, or especially remember Tori called. I mean, waking up at 4 a.m. to have a 6:50 tee time there and hitting the ball 240 in a long golf course, it sucked.
That's when it was hot. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean that
85
play,
and
it was
sunny.
brutal. So we tee off at 1 p.m. every time, or 1:15, and that part it's easy to plan your day, easy to plan your week when you know your tee times for the whole week and pretty much for the whole year. So it's easy to prepare, and yes.
No, before Sleeve jumped in, because I'm very curious about because the atmosphere out there. Everybody, says they don't take it serious. It's not as stressful as the PGA Tour. With a 1 o'clock start, are the nighttime activities any different out there on the LIV Tour compared to the PGA Tour when you got to get up at 4:30, 5 in the morning, like you said?
Honestly, not. I mean, I cannot speak for everybody, but honestly, I think people are taking it really seriously, and more as it's gone on. I think the first 6 tournaments, when I played, I think there was more shit going on, and then maybe people going out. I didn't do it. I've never really been a guy to go out during tournament weeks, but right now I think it's way more serious, and I honestly because there is less people, and it's just there's a lot more things to do. Like, that's one thing I'm going to tell you. There's a lot more responsibilities in a week on a LIV tournament than a PGA Tour tournament. You have a lot more responsibility. So honestly, when you finish and you have things to do, or you have to go sign these things or say hi to somebody, I'm completely done after a round. I'll go recovery, and then I'll start my day again. In the morning. But honestly, there's not much going on at night.
God, 1 o'clock shotgun start sounds like a goddamn dream tour. Dream tour to me, Carlos.
That's what I tried. That's what I try to explain to people. Just imagine you're like, for me, I'm playing with my best friends all around the world, getting paid to do it. It doesn't get better than that. I honestly, I'm living my dream, scenario to play golf. I love that. Obviously, I would add, if we can get somehow spots in the majors or world ranking points, then that would be the utopia of golf. But I don't know. I guess we at this moment we cannot have everything.
Yeah, things are changing, and Carlos, that's why I'm so glad we get a chance to talk to you and talk to somebody who's on LIV and who can give it from a LIV perspective, because we hadn't have a chance to do that yet. But one of the popular narratives around LIV is, all these guys got paid, they don't care anymore, they don't have the grind anymore, and things like that. What's your take when you hear people say that?
I would say that it's definitely some extra pressure here, because there's only 48 guys. If you fall off somehow LIV, then you don't really have the P Tour to go back to, or really nothing else. You have to go play the Asian Tour. That it's a great tour, but it's definitely a lot of travel. In all overseas. So, you can ask guys like Hudson Swaff, or some guys that now they don't have their spot because of certain things, or I don't know, Bernd Biesberg. I think he's gonna back to the European Tour, but I think there's definitely some pressure there, and it seems that people from the outside are gonna say that that we don't feel any kind of pressure, but honestly, I can tell you, the pressure hasn't changed, and I think this Colt, it doesn't change. Like, it's when people used to say, oh, once you win on the tour and once you do this, you have secured your status. For me, it's never really changed. It's always been about trying to get better, and obviously, if you're not doing well, you have the pressure of doing better, and I don't know. I think it's depending how people go about things. For me, it's always been, I have a compromise with myself and with my team to get better every day, and that's what I'm trying to achieve. Just to work harder and trying to improve as the year goes on, and as my years, as I evolve in my career. So the pressure has been the same for me, and honestly, it is true what I've been telling you guys. Down the stretch, when you're posting a score and your team depends on you on winning or not winning, I definitely feel there is an extra pressure. I feel like there's definitely some extra commitment that you feel like, okay, I know that it's on me if the team win or loses. That is definitely an extra pressure, and I mean, I don't know how people can say that doesn't really, that we don't really care or that there's not really pressure out there just because there's guaranteed money.
All right, some big news here from Subpar. We have officially launched our own YouTube page. Make sure to subscribe at golf_subpar on YouTube. Check out this week's video. Like, subscribe, do all the stuff. Colt, we got some cool behind-the-scenes stuff coming and give you a little outside look at some of the stuff outside the studio. So please like, please subscribe. You're the best listeners in the game. We love you. Back to the show.
I want to go back to what you said. You said you'd like to have world ranking points, which I totally understand that, and access to majors. My question for you at the world ranking points, because I feel like every player knew going in, like y'all weren't going to get them right away, and there's been a lot of complaining about it. Were y'all told at the start, like, hey, eventually we're going to get world ranking points, it's going to happen? Or do y'all just feel like y'all should get them because of the quality of players that are over there?
I think it's both. I think it was definitely said that we were going to get them. We haven't got them. But I just feel that there, I think people have to recognize that there is good players here, and if you want to have a world ranking that includes all the golf players, you have to have some people included in that world ranking, I understand that we went out of the system and it's going to take time to get back or to be part of the system. But I also think that if the world ranking wants to be accurate, they have to include all kinds of players, and I'm not saying, we should have got them from the beginning or something. I know there's some certain rules, and I knew from the beginning the consequences and the setbacks that we could have had, and I accept them. I just obviously wish we could change them and find a way that we can be part of. I mean, I feel like it's getting to that point, but we could be part of that ecosystem where we can be ranked and compete freely, not only in majors against the other players. I just think there is a way, and there's definitely enough proof that we have a legitimate tour where there's good players and we should get ranked. Because at the end of the day, the things about why we're not getting a world ranking too is because you need to prove certain years or certain time that you have a legitimate tour. I think it's already given that we have a legitimate tour, I don't know. That's my opinion, but if answering your question, I definitely knew the consequences and the risk of going, and I mean, not getting world ranking points was one part of them.
Yeah, and I think, as the landscape of golf continues to change, that's something that's going to be at the forefront of it. And I'm kind of in agreement with you with the caliber of play. There's got to be some way to figure out whatever amount of points it is that needs to be delegated to LIV. They got some damn good players over there. But Carlos, from the jump, it's been such a hot topic between golf fans, essentially. Like one side's LIV, one side's PGA Tour. And it's like there's a line drawn in the sand. When you went to LIV initially, did your relationship change with any of the players? Like, are the players the same way? Where they just draw a line in the sand, or have you been cool with everybody that you were friends with before?
Honestly, there was definitely I don't even know if it definitely was there some tension with some players, and they definitely did not agree, and they thought I was being selfish and that I owe some kind of loyalty to the tour. And look, I respect their opinions. I obviously did not agree, and I think we went without either talking or to certain players. But I think to this day and now, and since I've seen them, I think everybody's back to normal, and I don't think there's people holding resentments anymore. Or I think it was just more at the beginning, because I mean, definitely was more. I think where people were told like, hey, these guys are bad guys, and everybody just believed it. And at the end of the day, we were just taking decisions, thinking for what was best for us, and at the end of the day, I don't feel like I affected anybody with my decision. If you're free to take different choices, why are they judging me to take I didn't feel like I affected them. I had a choice in front of me, and I felt like I took the best choice for myself. And obviously there's people that didn't feel that I should have taken that choice, but I mean, at the end of the day, it was mine. So I in that point, I didn't understand how did I affect them or why I needed to do something else. I was just thinking about myself. I cannot think about all the other guys when I'm taking decisions, in my career or in my whole life.
Yeah, you're your own boss. You get to make the decision. I think part of the problem there was some animosity was the lawsuits that were going on that are now no longer there. That was a big problem. Like, hey, you're suing the PGA Tour, which is kind of where you got your start, but that's a story for another day. But with everything going on with the PGA Tour and LIV, obviously the framework agreement, the negotiations going back and forth, for you, if you were in charge, like, what's the best case scenario? How does this all end for professional golf?
Honestly, I would just let it be. Like, hey, I recognize you're a tour. We respect the market you have on to the P Tour. Us as Live, we respect your market. Let's find a way where we can work together. I don't touch your market. You let me be. You take all this. We literally have an embargo and everything. We cannot get anything. Because the P Tour literally stopped. Like, I'll give you an example. We cannot buy hats from Imperial. Live cannot buy hats for Imperial, or like there's certain things we cannot buy because the P Tour has said that we're not allowed to. Like they cannot sell things like the things that they were arguing on the lawsuit. I think finally that can come to an end and we can get maybe some shared TV rights because I mean it will help the whole golf ecosystem. And if we can somehow, for example, the Mexico Open in Vidanta, like if I can. I mean, both of those sponsors for that tournament are good friends of mine and sponsors of mine. So I would love to play in that tournament. I know that I know I took the decision, but if they give me a sponsor exemption, at least I should be able because I'm actually helping grow the. I mean, it's part of my country and I'm trying to help the game. I don't think I'm affecting the Tour. I'm not going to really take spots from any of the tour guys. I'll be getting a sponsor exemption from guys that are actually paying, I don't know, $20 million to have a tournament. So I feel like those things eventually should be able to be open to like I'm not saying we're gonna go back to the tour, but if a guy that's paying $20 million to have a tournament wants to give me a spot, I think he should freely be able to do it. I think in the world at the end, like once we come to an agreement and we start respecting each other and we start working together, I think that'll be the perfect scenario. Still two different tours, but where we can share maybe some tournaments together, and maybe if some of the tournaments on the P Tour want to give sponsor exemptions to the players, they should be able to do that.
Yeah, I think that's a natural progression. I'm kind of hopeful that that's where the first step is taken. It's like, hey, we don't welcome everyone back with open arms, but we want this guy, like you said, for Mexico. We want Carlos. I think it'd be awesome if you could be able to play in those and just kind of start to soften everything. But when you talk about your global schedule that you're playing, Carlos, where was the coolest place, in your opinion, that you've played so far in LIV, or the place you had the most fun, biggest reception, all that?
Honestly, Australia was unbelievable. The fans, they're just different. I really haven't experienced that many different kinds of environments where you play like big tournaments. I play obviously the British, and yeah, the fans are different there than the US. But then the fans in Australia are also different than the ones from the UK and the US. They just it's a different atmosphere, and experiencing that is actually really cool. Also, Valderrama in Spain was unbelievable. That place is special, and the people. I don't know. It's just really cool when you go to places where people appreciate golf and they really appreciate what you're doing. Like they understand what a good shot is and what a bad shot is, and they understand when you have a difficult shot. So if you hit it to the middle of the green after a difficult shot, even though it's not close, they will clap. They get excited. I don't know. It's actually really cool to play in front of educated fans. Sometimes it's way different.
Valderrama is always a course that I've wanted to play. That place, every fairway looks like a hallway. It is so narrow.
You will do so well there, Colt.
All right, give me a sponsor exemption. Thanks. Appreciate that in advance.
Bridge the gap.
I got to ask, how you've obviously played several of the LIV events in the United States. Can you compare them at all to any of the PGA Tour events you've played throughout your career?
If I'm being honest, Australia, Valderrama, some of those, yes. In the US, if I'm being honest with you, I don't think we're still to that level. Like I cannot compare none of the LIV tournaments right now in the US to anything I've lived. Like I don't know, let's say Phoenix Open or even Torrey or Riviera or Quail or even the Travelers. The environment is still not there here. I think it's getting closer. I think we definitely had some tournaments where I think fans were more engaged, but it's still not the same. I mean, to replicate those atmospheres, I think it's hard because they just have a lot of history in those tournaments. You just have these people that go every year after every year. I mean, that just takes time. But I think we're getting closer to that. I think people that live are recognizing that we shouldn't go play, I don't know, in Orange County in Orlando to play that tournament in a golf course that it wasn't even that good, or Tulsa in a golf course that it wasn't even that good. I think we're going to go probably less tournaments in the US, but the ones we go, I think we're going to go to places where I think we can get a nice atmosphere. But, I honestly, in the US, I haven't had that experience that I had on the PGA Tour yet.
Yeah, the international ones look like they've had big receptions. Australia specifically, you mentioned. Is the 14 events enough, Carlos? Like in your opinion, it's one of the perks. It's like you do have to work less, you get paid more. But in a perfect world, would you be playing more golf each year, less golf each year? How does the 14 work?
No, I mean, it doesn't get better than that. I think 14 is the perfect number. I think that's what the PGA Tour is trying to do with the designated events. I think is the perfect amount. Obviously, I play maybe 2-3 more tournaments on the international series of the Asian Tour. I'm going to go to Oman. That it was an unbelievable golf course and great place. I'm going to Macau. Maybe play another one. Maybe I don't know. Maybe another one during the year. But I play those and ideally the majors, and then you have between 20 and 22 tournaments during the year. I don't think it gets better than that with that schedule.
Yeah, not too bad. And obviously, if you get all the majors and by the way, Macau, I'm in on that. I heard that place is incredible.
I know. I'm gonna play Oman and Macau in the next 6 weeks.
Damn, that is rather nice. Get to go to some cool places. If you could change one thing about the LIV Tour right now, what would it be?
I don't know. Honestly, we've like these kind of questions they've asked us, and I think most of the things that we've talked about and not complained but suggested that it should change, they've changed them, and that's what I'm saying. That's one thing. What's one of the perks of a startup where you don't have some of the things like the PGA Tour, but you can move and evolve and change as you wish. It's just there's not. There's not that many things that have to happen to change to happen, whereas on the PGA Tour you have a board and then the pack and all these things, and for a decision to take place, you have to go through, I don't know how many different people and how many boards, and for them to tell you that it's a maybe and they have to run it again. And, I know that people are frustrated with that here. I think they've changed quick and they adapted, and I think we keep adapting. But honestly, there's not thing that comes to mind that I would change right now. I mean, other than the things that are outside of LIV's control, I wouldn't change anything.
Yeah, definitely way more nimble when you're dealing with 48 guys out there. I do want to ask you this, Carlito, because you recently went from the Fireballs to Torque, as we mentioned. And from what I've seen, it wasn't necessarily a trade, although you're kind of flipping with David Pooch. It was like a free agent signing. Can you explain how these trades or these new signings work? How is it determined where you want to go? Do you kind of put the word out, or just give us some of this? Because clearly in golf, we haven't seen it before.
Honestly, I don't know how it went, for example, like Harold and Peter Uline and those guys, because everybody kind of keeps it under the water. For me, it was honestly with Joaquin, Sebastian, and Mito. More with Joaquin and Sebastian. I traveled the last 3-4 years on the PGA Tour with them everywhere. We rented houses, we shared pretty much everything. So we were kind of like a team, like we were doing everything together, holidays and everything. And then Mito came up the last year on the PGA Tour, and he started staying with us in the houses, traveling together. So I don't know, I feel like it was just like almost like the dream team. Obviously, when we went to LIV, we went at different times, and it was hard to follow in the same team. So I don't know, we kind of always had that in mind, and we kind of tried to make it happen. Joaquin, in his way as a captain, trying to find a way for me to come to his team, and I was trying to. I had 2 year. The half a year and then the full year contract with Fireballs, and after that I kind of was like kind of a free agent. I still had to, I don't know, there's so many rules and things that I still don't fully understand, but I had to, honestly, there's a lot of different rules and things so if Joaquin wanted me and David didn't finish at top 24 and I got a release from LIV, I could go, and everything, and so everything somehow happened that could happen, but it was definitely a lot of moving pieces that they were not on my side. I had the decision that I could go, but there's so many other things that had to happen for me to go, and they happened. So I'm just happy. I mean, obviously playing for Sergio and with Abe and Chakara was awesome, but these guys are my boys, and playing with these guys are awesome, and they also have a great team. They're great players, and I just feel like it was a good move for me.
Yeah, you mentioned your team. Obviously, Joaquin Neiman's the captain, Sebastian Munoz, and Mito Pereira. I mean, 4 really, really good players. Like in the NFL, they do like power rankings. They rank the teams. Where do you think Torque ranks in the power rankings of LIV Golf?
I think for sure top 3, if not first. I mean, I think we're solid all around, and I mean, I think other teams are becoming. I think also now, as you've asked Colt, I think if you ask if people were taking it seriously or not, I think you're seeing that actually people are trying to take it seriously, where the team aspect, and there's no more brothers on the team. There's no more, freebies. I think people are taking it seriously, and they're trying. No, being for real. Like.
No, I know what you meant about the brothers comment. I get it. Yeah.
No, and I think he knows, and everybody knows, and then there's no hiding. I mean, about it. The only reason he was there is because it was his brother, and look, Chase worked hard, and he's a good player, but at the end of the day, he didn't post the numbers, So now he could maybe try to save him or try to get him back on the team, but now he's not doing that. He chose to find other players that can complete the team, and I think you're gonna see this in the next 3-4 years. I think people are gonna start washing up, and then they're gonna try to recruit better players, and either younger or from other tours, because I think people are trying to take it more seriously now. Like, I don't feel like Jon Rahm is gonna come here and he's not gonna care that his team doesn't. You might think, oh, he already got the money, he doesn't care. But Jon Rahm, he's not gonna want to lose in anything. He's gonna try to get the best team possible. It might take him 2-3 years, but he's gonna get a good team. I guarantee you that. And I think it's the same for Brooks and Dustin. I mean, maybe Dustin doesn't. Like I don't know, but some of the guys are really trying to get their team together and get it competitive.
Let me ask you about the Jon Rahm thing real quick. How big of a surprise was that to everyone at LIV? Did y'all kind of know it was in the works, or were like for us? I mean, we sit down with John quite a bit on this show, our Sirius XM show, and to us, it was a pretty big surprise. You hear the rumors that he's possibly talking and possibly going, but we always heard he wasn't, and then all of a sudden, boom, there it is. Jon Rahm signs with LIV. Was it a surprise to any of y'all?
Honestly, it was a surprise. Just how you said, I've heard rumors for the last 2 years, so I choose to ignore them because they're all rumors and most of them are not true. So they were saying, oh, yeah, we're talking to Jon Rahm. Yeah, sure, you're talking to Jon Rahm. Like, you didn't really think that they were going to offer him that amount of money and that he was going to take it, and we were definitely surprised. And I think it's a good addition. I don't know. I actually am happy that he's coming because at the end of the day, we do want to play against the best players in the world, and he's probably been the best player in the world the last 5 years, if I had to say.
Yeah, you're definitely getting one of, if not the best. And Carlos, you don't have to mention names on this, but I'm just curious because, like, we hear Colt and I, Colt just mentioned, we hear names that are being floated around all the time, and I'm sure guys that have not played on LIV at this point kind of want to pick the brain of guys that are out there living it, have played an entire season out there. How often are you fielding calls from guys on the PGA Tour on the PGA Tour and asking, hey, what do you think about LIV? Are you happy there? Things like that.
Honestly, I do get calls like that, and I mean, as Colt knows, I try to be really honest. I try to say the truth and the good and the bad, and so I just, if I had the same decision to make, I wish people would say the same thing. So I definitely, when they call, I tell them, don't text because, as we know, you can get your phone taken away and you can get in trouble. But I definitely tell them, I pick up a call and I tell them anything they want to know, because if I'm taking a decision like that big, I would like to know everything about it.
Well, you're getting ready to start your third season, like we said, Mayakoba in just a little bit. Actually, when this comes out, it's probably already have started. But how's your off season been? What have you been doing? Obviously, you've been documenting your cold plunging with your wife, Haley.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I had a lot of different commitments that I had to take care of. I mean, I have 4 daughters, so there's not really any free time. If I choose, I'll be all day chasing kids and taking them to school and everything. But I spend a lot of time with my family. I've been working hard on my body and on my game lately. So it was actually really nice. I think it's the first time I've taken a month off of not golf, and it was unbelievable. I really enjoyed it, but it's also helped me to get work on things that I couldn't work before. We didn't really have time to do changes or big body changes either. I'm working hard on maintaining weight, getting a little bit stronger and bigger because I lost too much weight. There's things that I've done this offseason that I've never really done before, and I'm excited about it. I'm ready to start playing. It's been too long not traveling and just being at home.
Sleaze, before you jump in, I just want to ask about the cold plunge real quick because I have one at the house. You've been doing yours in your pool there in Dallas. What kind of temperature are we talking about, and how long are you staying in? I cannot get Sleaze to give it a try.
I did it once, and I hated every second of it, bud.
Honestly, when we start doing it, not before we start doing that 7-day that we've been recording, but it was between 45 and maybe 48. but then it got so cold the last week and a half. It's been freezing here, so it's been between 36 and 40. It was 41 this morning.
Shit.
That is, I feel like it's almost too cold because then you get like your feet and your hands start aching, so that's a little bit too cold. But I mean, honestly, it's actually, I've had one of those cold plunges too, like you do, Colt, and it's way easier. I feel like it's nicer to do it in a pool because you can move around a little bit, and I feel like getting your head in too from the beginning helps you not, I don't know, somehow I feel like maybe it's in my head, but I feel like it helps you resist better the cold. But I've been doing it maybe for 2-3 minutes. I normally put a song, and whatever the song lasts, I'll stay in. I try to pick short songs too.
What song do you put on when you get in there that allows you to be tough as shit and endure that?
It's Getting Hot
Honestly,
here by Nelly.
Ice baby.
No, I put like maybe house music, or like I like some of that stuff. It's something that kind of pumps you up. I guess I don't know. You get kind of in a trance of just kind of. I normally put songs that I know that they're gonna finish quick, and I know kind of where it is because I like to kind of know. Even though I don't, I don't have a timer. I like to know that it's not gonna take much longer than that.
3 minutes feels like an hour. It is just when you're freezing, it's awful.
It's terrible.
We don't get the cold in Phoenix that you get in Dallas, obviously. But it was cold enough the other day. I actually went in the pool instead of the cold plunge, and I'm with you. I love just being able to walk in. You get all the way down to your neck. If you want to dip your head in, it's great. But by far, the worst part is the hands, in my opinion. Like I can't keep my hands under the water.
Hands and feet are the worst, and I try to put them just like this. But yes, it is terrible. I honestly do it not. I don't know for the body what it actually does or not, but I just do it more like as a challenge with myself. Like I know I don't want to do it. I know I hate it, and I just tell myself, "You're still gonna do it." And for example, today I woke up like at 6, and the first thing I did is jump there. I mean, obviously it took me like 20 minutes to get out of bed. I had a work at 6:30, but I jump in there, and I just feel like whatever comes next during the day, it's gonna be easier because I just did something that it's hard to hate something more than getting into the cold water. So I just feel like I did something that I didn't want to do, and I embraced it, and I did it, and I feel like it puts me in a good headspace. And when you have 4 kids running around at all times, I think you have to have a good headspace because I lose it quickly here.
Amen. And props to you for filming it, but also smart. Film yourself getting into the cold plunge and not getting out. You know what I mean? Based on certain scientific shrinkings that may or may not take place. So also smart on that.
Oh yeah,
tip of the cap.
It does happen.
Yeah,
we gotta get Sleaze to try it. I'm trying to get him to do it, and let's film it for either the podcast or Sirius. And he's being soft about it. You feel so good afterwards, though. It sucks, but you feel great after.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I would like it once I'm out, but I'm just such a puss that it's hard to really just get in. You know what I mean? There's that element.
You should try. You're gonna hate it, but you're gonna love it. You love it after, you hate it before, and honestly, it's a torture for me. When I go at night, I need to go in the cold tub in the morning. It's just a torture, and I hate it. And it's one of those that you don't want to wake up because you have to go in. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like maybe mental, but I feel like it helps me.
Yeah, I did do it one time, and honestly, after I got out and had my couple Red Bulls in the morning, I was like, dude, I am buzzing right now. But it's when it's in the morning, too, and I'm like, God damn, like, I don't have one, so it's my pool, too. Right now, it's freezing. And it's just like, oh, dude, I don't even know if it's possible. But everyone loves the shit, so maybe start doing it. Who knows?
It'll change your life, Sleaze. All right, let's get to it. We normally, as you know, Carlos, you're a fan of the show. We do the Emergency 9, but Sleaze came up with something different for you this time.
Yeah, we're going to do the Emergency 6. You know what I mean? It's like basically 3/4 of Emergency 9, more or less, give or take the math.
Yeah, you played 3/4 of a normal tournament, so yeah, perfect.
Yeah,
shrink this shit. It's better. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'll start you off here.
Yeah.
Have you figured out who Mike Oxlong is yet?
Well, it was one of those tricky questions, right? It was. They asked. It was something that.
For the people that don't know, you were on Netflix when they were doing Mito Pereira's episode, and they came over, and one of the kids said, "Carlos, say Mike Oxlong really fast," and it took you a little while to figure it out.
Oh yeah, it was something about your dick is long or something like that, right? That kid did get me. He did get me with that thing, eh? Like, and like right now, I guess it's just a phrase maybe from here from the US, and maybe a cultural difference, but I couldn't get it. I couldn't get it in the moment. I kept saying it, and I was like, "What the hell?" And then obviously. he was just making fun of me.
Whose kid was that? Whose kid was that?
I don't know. Mark Tulo, I think.
Oh my God, I love that kid.
A friend of me too. Yeah.
I love
He
that
did get me
kid.
with that.
That was one of my, I forgot about that. That was one of my favorite parts of that whole series. It was just you saying Mike Oxlong over and over.
Yeah, something like that.
All right, you live and you learn. All right, this actually comes, my first one, from that video you posted of you getting in the cold plunge. And so I have to ask it, are you the only dude nicknamed the Princess who also has a chest tattoo? Because, by the way, I thought it was just a big patch of hair on your chest. Turns out it's not. I was like, dude, there's no way he has a chest tat, but you do.
Yeah, I do have a tattoo. And that was, I honestly would have never imagined in my life that I was going to get a tattoo, and somehow I have now two.
What's the other one?
What's the other?
I have one in my leg.
In your leg.
It's right here. It's pretty big too. I don't know. Something I actually, that's actually pretty cool. Like, my wife liked them. She never really got them, so she went to this place in Mexico. It's in the middle of nowhere. When I say in the middle of nowhere, it's a town. There's no police, no nothing. They have their own thing. You have to fly Oaxaca, and you go to this guy, and you don't even know what you're getting. You have to send him. It's like a form where you send what you want it to represent. It's a really spiritual experience, and it's like a journey. You go there, and you don't really know what you're gonna get until he shows to you, and then you can pick where to put it. But it has a lot of different meanings, and I would have never gone a tattoo if it was not something like that. So everything that this one has, it represents everything that it would be always important for me.
That's awesome.
I like that. Did you cry? How painful?
It was like this one. Both of them have been really painful, terrible. I mean, it's more painful than I imagined. But I mean, I don't have any skin. It's still all rips here. So just keep hitting this place, and it was bad. But I guess it's part of the experience.
God bless you. I was shocked when I saw it.
So I told Sleaze about the chest tat, and he screenshotted me a picture. He said, "Are you sure it's not just chest hair?" I'm like, that'd be the most awkward little sliver of chest hair ever. So I had to message your wife to confirm that you do have a chest tat.
No, I do have a tattoo right here in the chest. And
I
don't know.
You and Austin Eckroat might be the only two professional golfers with chest tats.
Yeah, I don't think there's that many.
Not the two I would have picked out either. But good on
honestly,
you.
Honestly, I'm still so subconscious, about, because I grew up in a place where tattoos were like just for criminal. I don't know, that's kind of what I grew up. Like, it was not a good thing. If I ever got a tattoo when I was living at home, they would have kicked me out. That's how they were. It was not that strict, but it was not look good. So, but my favorite place, it was almost like right here. It's just I cannot get myself to do it. I just still feel too subconscious. That everybody's gonna see it and they start asking questions or something. But I mean, one of my favorite places here, but there's not a single golfer that has a full sleeve of tattoos. There's none.
You could be the first.
I agree with that.
You could be the first.
No tattoos over here for me. All right, next one. Let's see, where should I go with this? All right, you mentioned earlier, obviously, 4 beautiful daughters at home. Is it true the real reason you actually signed with LIV is because you realized eventually you're going to have to pay for 4 weddings?
Please don't tell everybody about the real reason. But yes, I mean, I'm gonna have to pay for 4 weddings.
You have to pay for 4 weddings. Are you kidding me?
I know, and I just hope at least they marry rich people, because I don't want to maintain it. I don't want to keep up and pay the whole bills for like the whole family of my daughters either.
Here you go. Here's an idea. One of your newest LIV members, this Jon Rahm, signed for quite a bit of money. He's got 2 sons.
Mm-hmm.
I know, and Dustin always tells me about his. Dustin tells me always about his kids, but I don't. I feel like they can. I don't know. We'll see. They'll have to choose, but it is definitely something that's on my mind. I'm gonna have to pay for 4 weddings, 4 college, for everything. Yeah, I know that. I think for private school tuitions too.
Yeah. I think by the time that 4th wedding comes around, your hair is gonna look like mine.
Yeah, non-existent.
Exactly.
Just stay away from Sammy Spieth. All right, that's already been arranged. Everyone else is fair game. Just stay away from Sammy. That's already been pre-brokered on my end. I'm marrying for free, at least on my first one. All right, Carlito. I know you're a Cowboys fan. Tough times for you right now. But as a Cowboys fan, obviously you're just brought up to hate the Eagles, right? That's just kind of who you hate. They hate each other. Give me, if Torquay is the Cowboys, who are the Eagles for this coming season? Who's like the big rival? Got to beat them.
I think it's gonna be. I mean, I think it's gonna be fireable. Two Latin teams, they rival each other. I mean, even though we're friends, I think it's gonna be natural that we're gonna be competing against each other even harder.
I like that.
That David Pooge just joined Whisperock. His caddy.
Yeah.
His caddy is
Yeah.
awesome.
I love Alberto. He's
El Sucio.
he's the best.
El Sucio. He's
El Sucio.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sucio.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite out there.
He's
He
great.
is beauty, man. He likes to have a good time. I'm a big fan of him. All right. My last one. You and I used to play a lot of golf together. Okay. So what is one thing you've said to me on the golf course that my wife will never say to me in my life ever?
Where's the wind?
She definitely won't say that.
No,
That's
she
what-
definitely won't say that. I thought you would get this one right off the top. But I used to try to hit one hard, and you'd be like, big one, Colt?
Oh yeah.
She'll never
I
say
just
that.
remember because you used to smash it, and they will always go to the middle. They all look the same for me, so I just wanted to ask, it wasn't a big one called. And you were like, no, it was a normal one. Yeah, I remember used to ask you about all that all the time.
Natalie's never asked me that.
Yeah. I do miss playing with you. It was fun when you lived here in Dallas. We had a good time, eh?
Yes, we did. Always.
Back in Dallas.
We had a good time.
Can reunite. The kids moving all over the place, which leads me to my final question. I was going to phrase it differently, but I'm just going to ask you, like, can I be a real estate agent? I'll give up everything else that I'm doing in the world if I could just be a real estate agent. It seems like a pretty good gig.
You?
Yeah.
You?
I'll learn.
Why would you?
Because you move every 6 months, dude, into nice places. I feel like it's a nice gig. I just work once every 6 months, stack some checks, be done.
I mean, I feel like you have a good gig right now, or not?
I do. I could probably do it on the side, too. I just basically want to be a real estate agent. Do you think we could do that? I got a couple spots in mind for you.
You would definitely maybe 1 or 2 sales a year, so it would be not bad. That's my track record lately.
That's what I'm saying.
How many different, in the last 5 years, how many houses have you been in?
Here we go.
1 in Dallas, 2 in Dallas, 1 in Mexico, 1 in Florida, 5.
I didn't even know you moved to Florida.
Yeah, he was in Florida for 12 minutes.
I'm still building in Florida because I thought that's where I was going to live.
Oh, you're still building a house there?
Yes, because that was the plan. We rented for a year, and we were building, but then we had change of plans, and we're back in Dallas.
By we, you mean the 5 girls said, we're moving back to Dallas.
Yeah, we're moving our asses back.
I did get a text from my wife when I was over in playing that Valderrama and London tournaments. She just pretty much said, I mean, you can imagine the Bible she wrote. It was, just summating it up, it was, we left Florida. Either we're going to live in Mexico or Dallas. You choose.
Hey, at least she gave you two options.
Fair enough.
Literally, while we still have our house in Florida building, and you said, I left Florida, we're not going back, so you choose. We're going to live in Dallas or Mexico. That was the text, pretty much. And I was, okay, I guess we're going back to Dallas. Perfect. And she did not come back to Florida.
Good time to leave, right in the middle of a build. This is why I'm going to be a hell of an agent for you, bud. I got a few places. I'll email them to you. You're going to be so happy. I'll send you the contract.
Carlos, my man, always fun sitting down with you. You've been so great through this whole thing. I always love reaching out to you, catching up with you. But, man, that was awesome. Love sitting down with you, like I said. Best of luck this year.
Thank you, Colt.
All right, that was one of my favorites. Carlos Ortiz joining us on Subpar. Man, that was fascinating stuff to sit down with him, learn more about LIV, everything that's going on, whether it was the world rankings, the atmosphere at events, just how much fun he's having out there playing as well, and all the weddings he's got to pay for in the future. Play well, my friend.
Needs to stack it. Those princesses, apple doesn't fall far from the tree. But I've been wanting to have a LIV guy on for a long time. I feel like not a lot of them have gotten to speak out about it. I feel like that was a very open, honest assessment, what he likes, what he doesn't like, what could change, what he hopes change. And it's just, I think the more we hear from these guys over there, the more like the softer the disconnect between the two tours becomes, because like it seems like all the players are okay with everything that's going on. It's just like the fans, like the line is drawn in the sand. You're either a PGA Tour guy or a LIV guy. It's like you can't just like golf and be like, yeah, I'll watch LIV when I want to. I'll watch PGA Tour when I want to. Ultimately, all we all want is all of them coming together and playing more often with one another. But I think the more you can hear from guys like that, the better for everyone. But I just thought it was a very honest kind of assessment.
He's great.
From a guy that there's not a guy out there that would say anything bad about Carlos Ortiz. You know what I mean? He's, I think he's been a sounding board for some of the other guys that have entertained offers from LIV as well.
And he's a badass. He's got a chest tap.
He's got a sick tat, which I didn't know. We
He's
should have got into more. He's like, yeah, it was kind of like a spiritual thing. I was like, what do you mean? It's like an ayahuasca situation. You know what I mean? Where you kind of explore.
But he's one who's embraced the cold plunging, and I think it's time for you to do it. We do a live Subpar episode with you in the cold plunge.
What's the temp?
Mine's at 48 right now.
It feels cold as shit. I've been in some, like, I get in a lake one time, I'm like, what is this thing? 42? Like, oh, it's 71. I'm like, no, this Arctic, dude. I've done it once. It was a struggle. When I'm out, it's nice, but also like I'm cold for the whole day. So it needs to be the right time. Morning is going to be a big time issue with me, but maybe like late morning. I'll dip a toe in there and see what it's all about. Maybe I could kick all the, Red Bull and stuff like that. Celsius.
All right, well, let's get to some gambling. Since we're done talking about your cold plunge. But thanks to Carlos for joining us. Also, got to give a shout out. I'm interested to see how this goes. I mentioned earlier, we don't have the coverage this year at CBS. Last 2 years, Amanda and I have been on 16T on Saturday, getting amongst it, having an incredible time. NBC announced they're having Smiley and Kiz do it this year.
Whoa. Here we go. Wow.
Trying to replicate the greatness.
Oh, wow. I sense a little ride is going to get juicy. You're going to be out there. You're going to go through there. Hopefully go through there on Saturday. You know what I mean? Maybe get called over, go over, give them a little assessment, how things are going. I might pop by.
Yeah.
You know what
I mean?
Fun. There's no might about it. I'll be right there.
All right. Well, let's get to our picks this week. WM Phoenix Open. Really good field. Did take a little bit of a hit this morning with Victor Hovland and Xander both withdrew. I spoke to Victor. He's like, dude, I'm hitting it so bad. He goes, I have no business being on the golf course. I'm going to go figure this thing out.
That's hard to believe. When Victor's like, I'm hitting it so bad. Yeah. That's when we're all screwed.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem.
For my top pick, this guy smashes it. I feel like he's just starting to put himself up there. He played really well out in Palm Springs. Anyone that smashes it, I like it. Around TPC Scottsdale. 20-1, nice little odds. Give me Sam Burns.
Okay. Don't hate it. Would love to see Sam. He'd be a great champion around here. Let's start off by saying Scotty Scheffler going off at 5-1. Like, he's the guy.
I mean, Jesus.
But 5-1
two-time
ain't
champion.
enough. Secondly, the second thing I want to mention, I should be taking him, but I don't want to seem like a homer. Wyndham Clark's going off at like 33-1. There's a lot of guys in front of him. I'm like, why are you higher than him? This golf course, he lives right down the street. Hits it as hard as anyone. It's a great golf course for him. I know he's coming off a win, but his odds seem weird at 33-1. That being said, I'm going with the guy just keeps putting up good finish after good finish. Third at Amex, sixth at Pebble. Has not shot in the 70s this year through a couple events. And also fourth at Phoenix last year. Justin Thomas. Why not you?
I believe he's
40
under par in his 7 rounds. I walked with him on Saturday at Pebble. Shot 3 under par. Got nothing out of the round, but you can see he's back.
It's been, I think it's 6 consecutive top 6s or something like that, going back to last year. So
he likes this place.
He's knocking on the door.
He likes this place a lot. He's in good form. He is pumped to be playing some golf. All right, my next guy's been playing fantastic as well. 55-1. Also, new resident to the Scottsdale area, so he's spent some time out there, played the golf course, been getting slapped around a little bit at Whisper Rock, but ignore that. 55-1, the Bo Show, Bo Hostler.
Big Bo playing some nice golf.
He's playing very well.
Playing some very, very nice golf.
Just flew home with him.
Now.
He's excited for the week.
Yeah, it's been good for him. He's made the adjustment very well. I'm going a little further down the board. Go with a man that isn't a household name here in the States, but he's playing damn good, and he hits bombs. Huge bombs. Coming off a 4th at Pebble. Played well at the Farmers, too, until like kind of had a spotty weekend, but he was right up there going into the weekend. Thomas Dietrich, 70-1.
Got great hair.
Great flow. Great golf swings. Disgusting. Doesn't look like he's swinging hard. 120 mile an hour plus. Same thing that goes for all the young guys. But I like that. That's 70-1. If the weather is what it is and it gets colder and colder, I think it's just even more so the guys that hit tomahawks around here, even a bigger advantage.
Listen, all you meteorologists, please be wrong like you normally are this week, because it doesn't look great. It's cold, wet. I don't like that. We got to have – this is a huge event for the community. We need it warm, some nice scenery.
I will have the phone ready when you come through 16 for the first time with all the gear, all the everything, and I feel like people be interested to see your caddy technique. So that'll be huge for everyone.
I can't wait. Taylor, don't embarrass me. You better play well.
Unless Max needs a guy.
That's true.
Tough shit, Taylor.
Also, Super Bowl. Hello.
Okay.
The final This is so sad. Final football game
It really
of the
is.
season. It's awesome, but it's depressing. Wishing my man Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, all the people over at CBS best of luck up in Vegas. We got a hell of a matchup. Chiefs, Niners. Niners, 1.5 point favorite. So we're gonna put a little prediction out there. Give us our, because football is what we really know. But you ready for this? Patrick Mahomes against the spread as an underdog, 11-1-1, 10-3 outright. The man is not going. This moment's not too big for him. He's the best quarterback in the NFL. I'm going the Chiefs plus 1.5, and probably going to sprinkle money line as well. And I'm going 28-24. Chiefs are your Super Bowl champions.
28-24. Chiefs win another one. Last week I got on here and said I'm done betting against Patrick Mahomes.
But what are you going to do?
As an underdog, but my brain has done some reevaluating since then. He is due to lose a big win. Everything. I mean, did they win every year? They got all the distractions, all the things that are going on. They seem to just keep winning. But I feel like it's time for changing of the guard and just being in the same division as the Broncos. Like, I'm just getting sick of Chiefs, everything. They never have a down year. As long as they have Patrick Mahomes, they never will have a down year. But I'd love to see McCaffrey get one. Kyle Shanahan, would love to see him. Denver dudes, I'm gonna go Niners and the points. And I'm gonna go, it's gonna be close to yours. I will go 31-27.
Ooh,
Niners.
points.
Some points.
So over for both of us as well.
Yep.
All right.
Some big plays from C-Mac.
Listen, the next time we talk to y'all, our voices probably aren't going to sound this good. It's WM Phoenix Open Week. It is time to get amongst it. We're going to be out there throwing some birdie juice gear around, some green hats, some cool T-shirts. Go to fairwayjockey.com if you want to pick up yours. And everybody enjoy the WM Phoenix Open and the Super Bowl. And we'll talk to you on next week's Subpar.